Chapter 13 to 14. Just outside the turtle house, Chi-Chi landed the aircraft on the front lawn, blowing all grass in its wake. Chi-Chi ran up to the door and knocked on it while Goku and Bulma were bringing the tools and machinery to build a new radar. Master Roshi, it is Chi-Chi, Goku, and Bulma. Please let us inside. We don't have much time. Within a second, Master Roshi flung the door open. With the speed of the door flying open, you can see Master Roshi's boxers flying wildly along with it. Chi-Chi's face got beet red, especially listening to the yoga exercises on the television behind him. Hiya Missy. Roshi's casual reply was the final straw for Chi-Chi. With no hesitation, Chi-Chi slapped Roshi right through the turtle house, skipping across the water like a rock. Ignoring the flying Roshi, Goku and Bulma went past the murmuring Chi-Chi that was staring at her palm and into the house. They used the table that was situated in the middle of the room and started to do finishing touches on the radar. That radar was more smashed than we thought. Took longer than I expected. That was Bulma, 1 hour after arriving at the turtle house. During this time, the others were just doing miscellaneous jobs to help her out. Alright, let's head out. What does the radar say? Everyone crowded around the dragon radar to see the readings once Bulma activated it. The radar beeped twice before the map was displayed, showing one blinking dot at the center. Zooming out more, everyone saw a cluster of dots with another lone, blinking far away from them. Alright, well, if the Red Ribbon Army is collecting the Dragon Balls, the cluster is probably them. Oolong easily deduced the obvious after looking at the cluster of 4 that was in one spot. If that is the case, then this person with 1 ball will be in danger. Bulma pointed at the other lone dot in the distance with a worried expression. Wait, didn't you guys say that there are supposed to be 7 Dragon Balls? If you count the 4 that the Red Ribbon Army has, ours and the other lone one, then that is 6. Chi-Chi asked with a confused expression. Although Goku and Bulma told them about the Dragon Balls, the idea that a magical wish-making dragon will come before them after talking to a bunch of balls made them sound insane, if to say the least. Goku pressed the zoom button on the radar. However, no matter how much they zoomed, they still couldn't find the last one. I guess we will come to that after we deal with the Red Ribbon Army. They are the immediate threat right now. After everyone agreed, Goku was trying to convince everyone that he himself was enough. We are fighting the Red Ribbon Army. The only one that will come out safely would be Master Roshi. Goku was trying his best not to hurt the girls' feelings. Even though what he was saying had a lot of sense, the girls still could not accept that they would get left out on a potential adventure. You guys are making me use my final move. Intense staring ensued between the 3 as they looked at each other in anticipation. Goku inhaled deeply, puffing up his chest. Sweat started beating off both Chi-Chi's and Bulma's face as they were dying in anticipation. He blew as hard as he could to create a gust of wind whirl inside the Kame house. Before they can react, Chi-Chi's skirt and Bulma's shirt started to blow up to their face, revealing scandalous material. Hearts started to pop out of Oolong's and Rashi's as they were slowly dying from blood loss from their nose. They did a dive toward their clothes girl, hoping to revel in their warmth. Chi-Chi and Bulma were too busy beating the snot out of the 2 perverts to notice Goku sneaking out with the radar. Once he was outside, Goku punctured a hole on the engine, covering him in smoke. Nimbus! He could see the Nimbus cloud racing toward him in the distance when the door slammed open. Bulma and Chi-Chi had a death in their eyes as they raced towards Goku, leaking lethal energy that made the grass and flowers shrink in fear. Before he could be torn apart, Goku leaped toward his savior, landing on the cloud before the claws of death could reach him. You better not show your face again or I will kill you, Goku. After a couple of hours, Goku approached a small teepee that had some destruction around it. When he was about to land, he could hear some fighting from the distance. Going towards the noise, he can see a tall tanned man beating down another individual. This individual was tall and blonde with a perfect complexion with distant anguish across his face. The tan man was winning with a great advantage until the fight took a weird turn. The tall man stopped moving, allowing the other man to hit him in the face, making him fly through a rock. Knowing that the 2 people were Bora, UPA's father, and General Blue, Goku rushed toward them with the intention to help. The blonde man noticed Goku approached them and sneered. Halt, you brat. This is official Red Ribbon Army business. Scram unless you want to die. He then turned back to face his opponent to finish his job. Goku leaped toward him and extended his foot to the back of General Blue. Cracks of bones could be heard as Blue could feel his spine have permanent damage from just one attack. He face-planted on the dirt, sliding for a couple of meters. Struggling to stand up, he looked a little hysterical, whipping the dirt off his face. You monster! My perfect face! You know how much work I put into this. Before he can rant any longer, Goku landed directly on his head, caving his face even more to end his life. Bora stood up after shaking off the mind control and thanked Goku for his help. Thank you so much, young one. These people keep coming for this shiny ball. It truly leaves me confused at its importance. That's a Dragon Ball. It can grant enormous power for those who can gather all 7 of them at the same time. As long as you have the ball, they will stop at nothing to obtain it.
No wonder.
Goku requested the Dragon Ball for safekeeping. Although they haven't met for long, Bora could already tell this young man's character due to Kintown. He gave him the ball and started talking about the tower that was beside them. This tower is Korin's tower and it stretches towards the heavens. It is said that whoever climbs it and drinks the sacred water will have their strength grow exponentially. My family has been guarding it for generations. As he said that, a little boy peeked out from Bora's leg to observe the strange boy that appeared. I wonder how much stronger I can get from climbing this tower. He knew this tower's true test and how little it would help him compared to others. He still decided to do it anyways for any possible power increase. And thus, he began to climb Korin's tower. Red Ribbon Army Base. Humph, it turns out that Brief isn't the one that created the radar as our informative said but his daughter. Although his research in gravity can prove to be of great use if we can extract the information out of him. I will get to it. A short stubby man with an eye patch on his right, I was talking to someone on his phone. He was facing the wall seemingly admiring a picture of himself staring at the same picture. A narcissistic inception. When a tall black man entered the room, he finished his conversation with the man on the phone and turned around in what he thought was a dramatic fashion to face his subordinate. Commander Black, any reports? We haven't heard from General Blue for a few hours since we sent him to get the other ball. We can only assume that he is terminated or MIA. The tall man stood straight like a rod when talking to his superior despite the height difference. The other 2 Dragon Ball owners met up with each other. Hopefully, they will fight for the ball so we can swoop in for the leftovers. However, both of them are somewhat strong, so I have taken your advice and hired Tao Pai Pai. A message came from Commander from his phone as he said that, Tao Pai Pai has come to visit, sir. I have sent him towards you with a guide. A female secretary spoke in a monotone fashion. Thanks, send in Captain Yellow as well. I have a job for him as well. The secretary was unable to leave her emotions out of her voice as she choked on her spit a little at the order. However, she knew better and gave a curt reply. I understand, he will be up right away. Facing each other, a yellow tiger was sweating bullets when facing the man before him. Wearing a GI that had the words, kill you, sewn on the back supposed to make him look intimidating. Everything was ruined when people noticed his braid that ended with a bow. No one could mock him because he was the most famous assassin in the world, has the highest completion rate. One wouldn't escape with his life if that happened. Remember Captain Yellow, if you are able to beat Tao Pai Pai or survive, I will oversee your desertion and allow you to have all the tiger ladies that you want. As tempting as the offer was, Captain Yellow knew that he wouldn't be escaping alive. This is my opponent? I don't even need to use my hands. I will use my tongue to kill him. Unable to take this humiliation, Yellow rushed him like the ferocious tiger that he was. Tao Pai Pai looked at him in disdain and slightly moved to the left to avoid the rush. He stuck out his tongue and planted it through Captain Yellow's neck. Yellow stayed stiff for a second before falling with no life in his eyes. Tao Pai Pai was looking smug at his achievement before Commander Red burst his bubble. It is nice and all that you can kill people with your tongue. But why would you want to? I mean, I can guarantee that Captain Yellow hasn't washed for months. No sooner did Red said that Tao vomited his lunch out regretting his life decisions. This tower is crazy. It has only been a few hours and my muscles are so sore. Even though this weighted clothing will help me train, I can't help but think I would have done the first run without it. Knowing that Tao Pai Pai was approaching, Goku made double time and started climbing the tower in earnest while trying to conserve his stamina on the way. Just before night came, Goku was able to see the top. Goku was literally creating rain from his sweat as he looked at the top with a hungry expression. He finally scrambled onto the top and lay down gasping for breath. That was crazy. I feel like my entire body is trying to kill me with pulses of pain. Advancing even more up the tower, he soon came before a standing cat. Hello, young one. Incredibly impressive that you were able to climb with tower despite your small size in a little more than half a day. Korin was truly impressed with the promising child that came before him. This kind of potential is one of the kind that he is lucky to see. Looking at Goku more, Korin could see a strange light in his eyes that made him question him. He started to use his ability to peer into his heart. But before he can fully process what information he just got, Goku leaped at him as fast as lightning. Cut! Goku then proceeded to tackle and pet the struggling cat. Korin could feel himself lose his dignity slowly as he started to listen to the animal instincts that told him to purr. No! Korin finally peeled the relentless Goku off his back. He shook his body a few times to get rid of all the spots where Goku smoothed all of his frizzly hair. You little rascal! Doing that to me, Korin, what do you take me for? Korin then read Goku's heart once more and noticed that Goku already knew that he was the esteemed Korin despite being a cat. I got to hand it to you, little one, you already knew I was Korin. How can that be? Realizing who he was talking to, Goku raised his mental guard as best as he can. He was on edge because the being in front of him might be able to discern his true nature. When Korin peered into his heart, all he could see is his thoughts and nature. Everything that was related to Goku's previous life and the future was covered by a green haze. Interesting, I will talk to Kami about this situation. I came here for the sacred water that supposedly increases my strength. Goku slightly bowed to Korin, showing some respect to the person who literally grows life or death on trees. I see. You are seeking greater strength for future opponents that might threaten the livelihood of your friends. Although he saw this coming, he could not help but feel as if he is naked in front of this cat. The personal mind is the only safe space that should be available to an individual. It being invaded, although at a surface level, feels extremely uncomfortable and makes one shrink in fear. Don't worry, I do not abuse my power or look at more personal things. They are of no use to me. The water is right there. Take it and drink it. Not worrying about Korin anymore, his eyes darted toward the exquisite jar on top of the fountain. Climbing up, he was able to reach the jar before the scripted attack occurred. Korin was studying Goku's face as he was already in an aggressive stance. You don't seem too surprised. If it was that easy, everyone would be able to become strong. Sometimes a half-truth is the best answer, and it did indeed fool Korin. Staring at each other like a Mexican standoff, they both sprinted at the same time to the water. Korin was able to launch a preemptive strike through his staff, making Goku retreat with a flip. Just as Korin was going to acquire the water, Goku ran up behind him and launched a strike. Korin was barely able to dodge while making the jar sway intensely. Not giving him any time to restabilize himself, Goku continued to chase him, making him more and more unbalanced as time went. When Korin first clashed with Goku, he was able to sense that Goku had an unnatural decrease in speed. With further bouts, he was finally able to notice that he was wearing weighted clothing. Even though he didn't know how much weight he was carrying, just any decent weight makes him even more of a monster. Who is this kid? As Korin was thinking this, Goku was really feeling the weight now more than ever. He knows that he would have been able to catch Korin already if he just took off his clothes, but that wouldn't be challenging, would it? There are two ways to beat a mind-reading cat. The first is to punch and kick without thinking so that he wouldn't be able to see through the next move. The second is to go so fast that even if he knows the next move, he won't be able to stop it. Goku was trying to achieve both requirements. The first was extremely hard because in a fighting environment, action and reaction play an important role in what you do. Slowly but surely, the incredible pursuit was able to bring the sacred water to the edge of the staff. To ensure that he achieves one of his objectives today, he purposely scratched himself on the fountain. Korin just thought that he just made a mistake during his chase as he was putting his entire focus on shaking the ravaging monkey of his tail. After 1 full hour of Korin being stressed beyond belief, Goku launched a kick to the base of the staff, making the jar pop out of the staff. Goku and Korin did a leap too, with their arms outstretched like it was a baby falling. Korin thought he was being sneaky and maneuvered his tail to wrap around Goku's torso. Goku, however, countered with his tail and wrapped it around Korin's tail. He then used all his strength that he was been cultivating with his tail and threw Korin into the fountain. Korin was barely recovering from his daze when he saw that Goku had the jar raised in his hand like it was a holy relic. He stood up to congratulate the monster that has been spawned on Earth. Good work, you can drink it now. Goku took off the lid and started chugging the water down. He closed his eyes and bared through the metallic taste. That water tasted horrible. Of course, the supreme water really was just tap water from the beginning. The adventure up here and me dodging you were the real test. Yeah, but could you have gotten filtered water? Smart water at least? I tried so hard for this awful tasting water. You little brat, who do you think I am? Kami? Just be grateful that I went down to the mortals and grabbed water for you to drink. Goku walked up to the angry Korin and poked his cheek. Someone's a grumpy kitty. Korin could not take it anymore and screech. He proceeded to scratch the hell out of Goku's innocent face. Anyways, that was a great workout. You can stay here for the night. Have the senzu bean, it will be able to fill you up for 10 days. Korin, through the poor scratched, filled Goku a single green bean. Looking at it up close, Goku really could not tell the difference between this mystical all-powerful bean and a normal one. Popping it in his mouth, Goku felt like something was expanding inside of him, filling his stomach and energy incredibly quickly. Touching his face and the place that he scratched himself, he felt that wounds close up as like nothing had happened. Wow! You didn't tell me these senzu beans were able to heal me up. What do you mean heal you up? Korin was looking away when Goku ate the bean. So when he turned back, he was surprised, to say the least, that all of his hard work venting his frustration was gone. What? I've had these for millennia and didn't know that they had this effect. The more you know. These are incredibly valuable then. Yeah. You should go and sleep. As they both got ready for bed, Korin could not help but feel some regret. I should not have thrown away all those beans years ago. Oh well, it's not like anyone I know will be in so many life-threatening situations that would warrant that many beans. I will just save them from now on. With that thought trying to remove his guilt, Korin dozes off having a nightmare of a giant senzu bean eating him. Waking up early in the morning, Goku immediately said goodbye to Korin to head down to the base before Tao showed up. How are you going to go down? Looking back at the expressionless cat, he then did a backward trust fall to the ground. Well, I won't miss him. Goku felt the wind on his face as he dived headfirst towards the ground, enjoying the pressure. Before he hit the ground and splat like a mosquito, he called for Kintown to save his life. Kintown matched his pace and slammed into him to catch him. Goku felt like he sunk into a fluffy marshmallow, negating any pain. Goku came in at the perfect time because one could see a pillar flying in from a distance with a human on top. The pillar almost landed on Bora and UPA before Goku pushed them out of the way. You've saved me once again. Thank you, Goku. Bora had to thank Goku once more before addressing the strange man's locomotion. Who are you? You nearly killed us with your, pillar. I am Tao Pai Pai, the greatest assassin in the world. I am contracted by the Red Ribbon Army to take the Dragon Balls that are in your possession. Preposterous. Goku was right. You will never leave us alone as long as we have the Dragon Balls. I have to take him on, Goku. It is my duty to protect the sacred land of Korin. No, you don't, Bora. Nothing is worth more than your life. Not even your pride. You couldn't defeat the last person, so what makes you think you can beat him? Guk. Goku had no choice but to be harsh and stern in this regard. Otherwise, he will insist and rush to his death to no avail. Bora's pride took a direct hit because he knew that everything Goku was saying was correct. If you don't back down now, I will force you to. Seeing that Goku was serious, Bora couldn't even be mad as he knew Goku was doing it for his own good. Finally complying, Bora took UPA and backed down to watch the fight from afar. Humph. Sending a kid to fight me? This is a stain on my reputation. I will finish you off in 1 second with my tongue to redeem this humiliation. Tao launched toward Goku to kill him with his tongue like it was his fetish or something. Disgusted, Goku used his right hand to slap him away. A little dazed and full of confusion formed the young man's strength. Tao still had his tongue sticking out. Goku jumped up and hammered both of his hands straight down on Tao, making him cleanly slice his tongue out. Copious amounts of blood spurted out from Tao's tongue as he crawled into a fetal position while holding his mouth. Everyone around had the shivers in their spines at what kind of pain Tao was feeling at the moment. Gee, Goku. I think that was a little too harsh. He basically ate his own tongue. UPA was looking at Goku with a hint of disgust. Think about it, he boasted about killing me with his tongue. That tongue probably saw more of people's brains than anything else. In a way, it avenged all those who have been tongued by him. I see. UPA really started to question his morals as Bora just face-bombed at the whole situation. Seeing that Tao started to shed tears from the pain, Goku decided to put him out of his misery with a Kamehameha. Seeing the Kamehameha coming, he half-heartedly put up a defense against it. Originally, he thought that Goku was weaker than him and only hit him because he underestimated him. He was too busy grieving his own tongue because he wouldn't be able to boast to people about killing others with his tongue anymore. Only when he felt the heat of the Kamehameha up close did he realize his mistake. However, it was already too late as the Kamehameha disintegrated Tao before he could do anything. Before he died, however, his entire life flashed before his eyes. All the people he had killed with his tongue and the enjoyment he had from it. Ugh, hey hi. Well, that was an experience.